Hi all. So welcome to another day on this JMeter training. It's the course content, and so as per the course content, we are here. Uh, yeah. So transaction scenarios and other thing we discussed till yesterday. Now we'll go ahead and talk about HTTP protocol, right? So HTTP protocol. So HTTP protocol in general is a communication protocol for web application. Okay, between browser and the application and because to access any application we use browser only, correct? So that browser and the application in the mobile apps. Okay, the mobile apps, when we use mobile apps, so they also communicate with their server, uh, right? So that is there. Then we have web services and microservices. So the same is used. Hmm. Next is uh, it has five schema, okay, or you can say five components. So those are like one is request, another is response, header, third point, and request method and a status code. So we will understand each of them on the application practical. Not worry. Then HTTP protocol is a stateless protocol also. So this line may not be understandable now. So when we start using JMeter, that time I'll be covering this. So for now, you can understand like it is a stateless protocol. It means that it doesn't remember its previous state or information. Okay. Now, to understand this, first let us understand this point. A user action or a transaction on a web application generates HTTP HTML request in the form of URL to the server. Okay. And in return, servers send us the response. Right. So whenever a user is doing a user action, which is technically called as transaction, uh, on a web application, right? Then it generates a HTTP HTML request in the form of URL. You can also call it as a URL to the server, and in return, server sends us the response. So this line is important. So we will understand this line. So hope you get the idea that any user action, which is technically a transaction when a user is doing on a web application, it generates a HTTP HTML request in form of URL. So this can be also called as URL, but actually it's a HTTP HTML request and it goes to the server. Okay. And in return, server sends us the response. Fine. So let us understand it. To understand it, I'm opening it Mozilla Firefox and I'm also opening this. Now, first of all, we will talk about a tool called F12 Developer Tool. Okay, F12 Developer Tool or Dev. This tool is inbuilt in every browser. Okay, in any browser it is there. So suppose this is Google Chrome, and this is very important tool actually. So if you right click and then you click on inspect, so what will happen? This window will come. See this window, and generally by default, this window will be downside. First time whoever is opening, it will be downside. It will be like this. Okay. Uh, so this thing that is here, this is called as developer tool, a browser developer tool, or yeah, dev tool also, right? There are some tabs are there. Okay. Next, so generally, like I keep on left hand side, it is more handy. So through these three dots, we can make it on right hand side. So it is right hand side. It is there in every browser. So even let us say we have Mozilla Firefox, right? So even I right click here, so inspect C, and here also it will come. Yeah. And here also, first time if you open it will be on bottom. It will be on bottom. And yeah, through these three dots, can be two. Right. Generally, on if we keep on right, this. Now another thing is why I called F12 in beginning. Like to bring that there are two ways. Either you can right click and click on inspect, so this window will open up, or suppose you are on this page and if you press F12, okay, remember shortcut is there, F12. So if you press F12, so sometime in laptop we have to press function F and key and F12 or direct F12 also. So it will are is there any disruption in the voice from my end, or all going good?
Yeah, there is. Your voice is very low. Well,
Voice is lower, but I'm at full volume. And
Uh,
any wind or anything,
yes,
background
it's
noise?
breaking also.
No, background noise is there or no?
No.
Okay, only okay, voice is clear, but it's breaking. You are saying,
yes, yes.
right? All are facing this issue. Let me know. We will continue for a few more minutes. And, let me know
Yeah,
if
it's
everyone
breaking for
is.
me even. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, your voice is breaking for me as well.
Mm.
Yeah, for me too.
Okay. I need to switch this network. Okay, just give me the just next 30 second or one time. Just going and switching this network. There is some internet lag, I believe. I have connected through another network. Uh, or if it doesn't go, so I think we will. Like from evening, I'm facing this issue. I'll try to solve fine then.
Again, your voice is low.
I think it's due to your speaker, headphones maybe. Vallabh.
Actually, is it fine now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yes, better.
Oh, okay. I think fine. So it's now more better, right? Compared to like what we have done in 5 minutes, right?
You are understandable, Vallabh. Like we have to stress a bit, but please continue.
No, no. Now it's more good, right? Compared to the initial when we had it.
Ah, yes.
Okay, great. I think actually I have to check. Sometime my laptop takes the default audio, so it goes. Fine. And network issue also let me know, right? I have connected to a different network. Screen is not visible. Okay. Resuming back, right? So we were talking about the F12 dev, right? So why I said F12 because we can there are two ways to bring it up through right click and then inspect it will come, right, and then there is shortcut Fn and F12. Okay, directly F12 also you can press. Uh, Directly F12 also you can press. Like, this F12 directly you can press, or sometime in some other some laptop the function key is enabled, so Fn plus F12 we have to press, right? So that also brings this up. So you see, I'm pressing this F12 and it comes up. It comes up. So this is what DevTool. Now there are some tabs in this. Okay. This F12 shortcut key works everywhere in any browser. Then if you see, this is same everywhere. Like this is Mozilla Firefox, this is Google Chrome. So here this first tab called Inspector, here they call it Elements. Then we have Network tab, console is there here. Then many other like application, memory, performance, they are there, right? And yeah, so few can change, but most of them are common. Google Chrome has one very famous option called Lighthouse. When or where it is used, I'll be explaining in future. Right. So almost 6 to 7 tab you will see they will be common one. Now out of this, this first one called Element tab or the inspector tab you see here, some codes are coming up. Actually they are used by most importantly they are used by functional testers, automation tester to write XPath, to write their automation script. So script word is used everywhere, right, as I said. So we will be preparing our JMeter script. Automation people they prepare their own script called automation script, maybe in Selenium using Java, Selenium, right, or Selenium Python. Nowadays many things has come. Playwright is there, TypeScript is there, okay, so many. So that is also called automation script. This is performance script. Okay, fine. So they use this mostly for writing XPath. Ours is this network tab. For us, the most important tab is network tab. In network tab, we will see many things, right? So this is stuff that we just talked. Okay, like here that a user action or transaction on the web application generates a HTTP HTML request from URL to the server. We'll try to understand that. So for that, yeah, we had
So Kumar, so Vaibhav Kumar, sorry, the voice is so low. I mean, I don't know, it's only for me.
No, even for me also, I have the same problem. It's not audible. In between, it's cutting off, or maybe it's very feeble.
Yeah.
A few minutes back it was okay, Vallav. Can you check what was the setting prior to this?
Oh, okay, I'll try. Speaking again. So, let me know. I'm testing it. It's fine. Or again, it's low.
It's cracking.
No, still the same. Yeah, still the same.
I'll try maybe one more time this because everything I'm using like yesterday only there is no change even the headset and everything. Okay. So I'm trying this. Let me know if it okay or we can cancel it maybe because there is some network lag also from evening. That can also be creating an issue, right? So yeah, fine. So we'll try it. So let me know. Okay, I'm going ahead. So a user action or a transaction on a web application generates HTTP HTML request in the form of URL to the server, and in turn server sends us the response. Right. So if you see, I have opened the network tab, and I am first using Mozilla Firefox, and we have here network tab open. I'll try to access a website called www.amazon.in or .com, right? Amazon.in. Fine. Okay, so if you see here, this website is launched, right? Launched, and what we user does was he launched the home page, right? By typing this URL in the give me one. Yeah. So what the user has done is like we have given here www the URL of the application, right? Now what you see here is there is a request. We have so many things. We will talk about this slowly. But if we see here, there is one request. Same request will be reflecting here, right? And there is a type of that request. The type is document and initiator document type HTML. Okay. If we click on this, we can get more details here. The URL, the GET request, the status code, and many other things are there. So we'll come to that slowly. First, let me copy this and let me put that in a notepad. Okay, fine. Now, we'll do one more transaction. So let us say let us clear this. Okay, using this you can clear. So those log has been cleared. Now suppose we will click on this refrigerator, right? So if we again click, so user is going to do what? He's going to do a click, right? Click. So when the user has clicked, again if you see the page has changed, right? And let it load. So it's loading. Fine. Uh, yeah, almost it has been loaded. So all things. Now if you see, uh, there is a URL, right? The request, and if I copy that, I can I will copy and put it here. It's a little big. No need to worry more on that. We have to just understand the concept, right? And so same stuff, same URL. You can see here also. You can see get request, initiator document, and HTML, right? Ignore this part which are below. So you can just match also, like if it's a BBN 811 here, right? So it's the same request. And if you click on that, you'll get more details, right? The same URL, it will be reflecting here, correct? Same stuff, right? Now, one more transaction or one more user action will do. So let us say anyone we want to purchase anyone, right? So we will be clicking on that. Suppose on this we will be clicking, right? So I'll be clicking on this higher 130L. So when we did that, again uh, again one new URL here came, right? It actually open in new tab, but let it be. That is not important. But we have to understand here is this. Like again, if you see, we there is one more URL you can say, or it's a request, okay? And same thing, it got open in new tab. That is the behavior of this application. That is not a problem. You can always go to network tab and we can just refresh this page. So we can see the same request again in the as well. This one type document HTML. You can just click on that and you can see, right? Same thing. But as a performance tester, we focus on this rather than this, right? The things happening in this network, right? So we got one more request, right? And I have copied that. Now let us say, suppose we want to buy it. So either we will click on add to cart, or we will click on buy now, right? So suppose let us click on buy. Clicking on buy now, this page is coming, and same in network tab we see. So this is the buy now. You can see document, right? Type HTML. We'll click on that. This is one request. And then one more is there, which is down, which is here. This, which is showing here. So actually two are there. One is here. Sorry, one is here and one is here. So this one it's showing, right? So we can with that. And okay. Now, so for now, we'll just try to understand this line. Just understand this line. A user action or transaction on a web application generates a HTTP HTML request in the form of URL to the server, and server sends us the response. So what is happening here? Let us say that first we launched www.amazon. Right? So user type this, correct? First time a website ID we have to type in, and then we have to hit the enter button, correct? So enter is can be treated as a click. So everything, if you understand, at the end of day, it is click only. On a website or on any app, it's click only, right? At the end of day, hitting enter or just click, the same thing, right? It's a click. Okay. So so this request went to the server. We have seen that, and the respected page, right, on Amazon came up, correct? So that is response, right? Actually, response comes in code format, and many other things are there. So we'll talk about that later on. For now, I'll just focus on this stuff request. Then there was a refrigerator logo was there, correct? Refrigerator logo, fridge. So we clicked on that. So user clicked on that. Right? So when user clicked on that, then what happened? Again, one more request got generated, and automatically it got generated, right? Basically, user is again doing click only, and that request is getting generated because all are links. All is web development and everything is linked. So developer has done in that in the same way. We do not have to worry about all those things, right? We have to just understand the concept. So we clicked on refrigerator and this link got generated. And again, we got a response, right? All the refrigerators got displayed to us. Now, in that refrigerator, so that this is transaction one or user action one. Okay, this was user action one. This is clicking on refrigerator is user action, or you can see it. This is T1, right? Transaction one, transaction. Then there was one refrigerator called hire. We clicked on that, right? So again, that is click, or you can say that was user action three, or technically that will be transaction T03, right? So when again we clicked on that, again what happened? There was one more URL, right? Request. Actually, these all are requests in the form of URL. These are all HTTP HTML requests. Why they are called HTTP HTML requests? Right? Because their type, you will see will be initiated a document type will be HTML. Okay, so that's why they are called HTTP HTML request in the form of URL. Many people call it a URL also because it shows in the address bar, so it's a URL as well. But technically they all are request. Okay, HTTP HTML request. So we clicked on that hire refrigerator, and again one request got generated. And basically everything is click only, right? Just understand everything at the end of day is click. So this is another click, right? This is another click T03, and this got generated and it went to the server, right? Server means the Amazon application, and then the related response came to us, right? Now let us say we want to buy it, so we clicked on buy now. So when we clicked on buy now, there were two requests generated. So these two are part of user action 4. User action 4. User clicked on buy now. So everything is click on at the end of day. Okay. So clicking or enter same, or technically we can call it as a T04 transaction 4. And then there are two requests where two requests got generated, right? And both are again HTTP HTML request, and we received the related response which look like this. Next one is next thing what user will do. He will fill up the detail and click on continue. So now what we have to understand here is what I'm trying to show you, that on any website, whatever a user is doing, right? So that will be technically called as a transaction, and it will be generating a HTTP HTML request in the form of URL to the server. Okay, and in return, server sends us the response. Got it? It's not only this. On any website, this thing is there. You take any website. And why I'm showing this in Mozilla Firefox, because initially this thing looks more good in Mozilla Firefox. So as a beginner, it's better if you want to understand them. So use Mozilla Firefox. The segregation of the tabs look. So if you see Naukri.com, we launched this. So again, it is a request, right? And then we can see that request here, Naukri.com. Then clear this. Now suppose you want to click somewhere, maybe anywhere, or some you want to upload some resume or whatever, right? So suppose you want to click on this engineer for an example. So again, if you click, it went in, it open in another tab. But again, if you see one more request, right, got generated. Then let us say we want to click on for an example anywhere. Suppose this one, right? So again, this is a user action, right? So again, one more URL is getting generated. But as a performance tester, we should always refer the network tab. Right? It opens up in new tab. Right? No need to worry about that. If you want to just see this detail, you can just open in that new tab also. Just open the network tab, and you can just refresh that page. Right? So everything will be reloaded again. So this whole thing you can see here, right? Type document, initiator document type HTML, or you can click also. So you'll see, right? So it's this concept is everywhere. So that is what I'm trying to understand, that on a website or on any mobile app or anything, whenever we do click, every at the end of day, everything is click only. If you think minutely, even if you are uploading a photo, then send button is there, right? Send is what, click only. Uploading a resume, then upload button is what, it's a click only, right? So at the end of day, we are doing click only. Okay, everything we are doing as a click only, right? Um, Even if someone is from automation, or if anyone from here, if they have a little bit idea on automation, they know that everything is click, because if you write a framework, a small framework also, so everything is click. We have to do click, right? So everything is click only. Okay. Now what we have to understand is user is doing what, a click. Whatever the user action is doing, technically it is called a transaction. Now when the user is doing that transaction, basically it is click. And as a performance tester, what we have to know is that that click will generate a request in the form of URL. The type of the request will be HTTP HTML. Okay, the type will be HTTP HTML, and the request will be generated, and respective response will be coming. So, right. Next. So hope it is going good. Any feedback? My spelling. Is it
Yeah,
going
it's
good?
going good. Yeah.
Oh, fine. Now, so likewise on a website, when we do like so many, suppose there is one scenario, one product booking scenario only you take, right? Product booking. So to complete it, there will be so many user actions. Some set of steps are there, right? That is called as user action or transaction. Right? So when we do so many transactions, so there can be many transaction on an application, and same way those transactions can generate those so many HTTP HTML requests in the form of URL to the server, right? So here only you can see, like, we just did a 4 transaction, and the request you can see like 4 6 5 requests got generated. Correct. Now next concept is, see, each such URL or HTTP request has its own embedded resources. It is also known as embedded request or sub request. There's like, so each of these requests has embedded resources. Okay. In embedded resources, what are there? The CSS files, the JavaScript file, .css file, JavaScript file, .js file, and images and videos in the form of JPEG, JPG, GIF, and all those extensions you see. So I'll take back here again. Just refreshing this page. So I just refresh this page. Now what you will see here, that the request Amazon.in is here. Type and initiator, it's showing. Even its size will be little big compared to the size that you see here. Why that will be big? That also we'll try to understand. So fine, we got it, right? You can click on and you will get the idea. And so whenever you click on that request, there will be some tabs opening here. One will be header tab, then another will be request tab and response tab. You can go to the response and you can see the the request will be loaded. Yeah. See. So that request, right, which is here, the response will be loaded. So it's here, right? So it's the same thing, right? See. But actually, that is here. Then there is one button. If we click on that, so this is the response. Actually, response always comes in code format of the server. Remember, okay. Request went. This request went, and we receive the response. Response always comes in code format. Code format. Even for Google as well. So everywhere. Let us say this, right? And inspect. I'm just refreshing this, google.com. So you can see here google.com documentation. If you click on this, the URL request here, it will be blank. Then comes to response. So response, see, this is the response, right? This is the same response we are getting here. But actually, if you click on raw, response is this. This is the response. Response always comes in code format or text format, right? Even you can get the idea about this by clicking here. Suppose you are on this page and if you go and click on view page source. So you see, this is the code. This is the code responsible for this page, right? And it's same here, right? It's same here, which I'm showing. Correct. The same thing, right? Same. Okay. Do you see? So same thing. So response always comes from the server as code format or text format. Correct. Even this is the you can get idea by right click on this page somewhere and click on view page source. So do you see this code? This is the complete big code for this page which we see, and the same thing is here, right? Correct. So this request went, it bought the response from the server. Server sends us the response, which is in code format. Correct. Here also, this was the request, and this is the response, which comes in code format, right? So the request went to the server, and a response came. Response came in code format. Okay, that is clear. Now, what will happen once this code comes to us? To where? To the browser. Using browser, we are doing it, and here is the server, right? Now, when this response comes to us from browser to the browser from server, it comes in code format. After that, what will happen? There is a processing, or there is a rendering. Okay, there is a processing, and or you can say there is rendering of it, right? See. JMeter does not execute the JavaScript on HTML page, and yet nor does it render the HTML pages as browser does. Do you see something written? That nor does it render the HTML pages as browser does. Okay, so rendering, right? This word called rendering. Now, what is that rendering? So rendering means processing of this code. That's why we need the browser. Okay, browser people will process this code, or that is technically it is called rendering. There is a technical word called rendering, right? Render, and then we see this website as a beautiful. Okay, right. Now, in this process of rendering, what is happened? This whole code is, you can say, compiled at by browser immediately. Then all other stuffs are downloaded, okay, which are in form of you can see here. You see here, we will go by type. Okay. So CSS file, fonts are there, JavaScript, CSS, okay, JavaScript. Yeah, Google page more JavaScripts are there. PNG file, JavaScript again, PNG. Or on Amazon page, if you see, mostly observe here. See here, CSS files are there. Then PNG is image. Just remember this. CSS, uh, cascading styles here. .js and JavaScript. And image and video will have all this format: JPEG, JPG, GF, PNG, SVG, fonts are there, and icons are there. Okay, so you will see them all over here. CSS, PNG, JS, PNG. Then some irrelevant are there, which we do not need to focus on for now. Then all JPEG. Here more JPEG are there, image are there. Why? Because this website is full of images. Do you see all images, right? So that's why. So first, what will happen on top? You will always see the request, right? You will always see the request and response. You will always by default actually the behavior of Mozilla Firefox is when you click on response, it will show you this, right? But actually, not this is not the real one. You have to click on raw, and then this is the real one, right? So code. So request make, response came to the browser in code format, then it is rendered. Render means processing, right? Now in process of processing, what will happen? All this CSS file, JavaScript file, images, all you can also see images and everything. They will be downloaded. Okay, they will be downloaded. You can every file has a name as well. You see CSS file, right? So it's has a name. Suppose this is the file .css file, .cs file, .cs file. This is a PNG. Suppose it's an image, right? It has also a name. Name. This is the name, right? Suppose this is all our JPEG, all our image. So they have a name, right? They have some name. They are name of the image present on that website. I'll show you as well. So for now, the focus is what? So yeah. So that whole thing is downloaded. Once they are downloaded, okay, they will be downloaded, and then whole will be processed, and then we see this website like as a function, right? In that processing, like how the code is written, depending on that, the this browser will make whole thing ready. This one should look like this, or this one should look like this, or this one should look like this. Where this image should be there, everything is written in code, and according to that, it will place us. Right? It will place. Not only this, even this Google page or whatever we see, right? Even this JMeter page also. Okay, everywhere this concept is there. Now, why? So hope you got the idea, right? Now, why this stuff are called embedded resources? Okay, because they are embedded in the main code. So this is the request. Okay, uh, this is the request, and this is the response, which is in code format. This is the code format, right? Now, if you see any image or any file, I'll take. Okay. So let us say, suppose this is an image. Okay. What is this image? If you hover the mouse, you'll get an idea. Suppose I'm hovering the mouse, it is showing it's a shoe rack. It will be shoe rack. Okay. So it's shoe rack. Where it is? You see here it is. Correct. So that is the image for this. Right? It's coming. Or even if you click on that, it will show you here. So that is here. Now it has some name. It has this name. We can copy this name also by clicking on header, and then its name. This whole thing, its name only. You can copy this whole, or someone a little bit of this much. I'll copy that, and I'll go to the main. The main code is here. The main here I'll press Control F, and here I'll search it. Whole thing is there, but not this. This was the name, right? I'll just search it. So do you see? It's there, right? That information about that image is there in the main code, which is here. And this is not only for image, even a CSS file or a JavaScript file, any CSS file. CSS file, you can take it. Suppose this JavaScript file. This is a zip.js file. It's a name called. This is a name. Let us come here. Response. Bullet. search. So you see, let's see, right? That JS file also. So why these all thing are called embedded? Embedded means these all are embedded in here in the main uh, response or the main text that is coming from the browser to the server, right? So that's why they are so called. They are called why they are called embedded, because they are embedded in that main HTML page, the main HTML page or response. Okay, got it. These are also called a non-HTML resources. HTML are what? HTML request, HTTP HTML requests are the main request, and every request, every page will have this. For an example, I'll clear this, and suppose I'll click on a microwave now this time, right? So when I'm clicking on microwave, again we did one user action, right? When we did an user action, again one more request got generated. That request you can see here. Okay. You can see take document, then HTML, then this is the request. This request look break. So you have to do what? You have to just click on this arrow, and it will be in one line. This is one line. This whole thing is here as well, right? And this is the response. Response generally by default it will be shown as like this, but actually it is in code form. See, code. So when we click on that microwave, so what happened? One more request got generated, and it went to the server, and server sends us the response, and that response is in code format again, which look like this. And when it went come to the browser, it got processed, it got rendered. Now in process of rendering, whatever things are there, all images, CSS file, all you see, they got downloaded, right? And then after downloading, whole thing got, you can say like how a code is compiled, and then we see this beautiful page. Okay. So those requests, the main request, right? The main request, when the user is doing something, so the request that is going from our end, that type, its type will be HTTP HTML, correct? HTTP HTML, and it will be bringing the response, the main response, which will be in code form. Okay, which will be in code form. Once that comes, then rest of the thing you will see downside, those things getting rendered or processed, right? And that's why we see those so many stuff here. In this so many stuff, what are they? Basically in them, CSS files will be there, JavaScript file will be there, and images, videos, fonts, all thing will be there. Okay, right? And these stuffs are called as, okay, these are also called as, these are non-HTML resources. They are also called as embedded resources or non-HTML resources. Why they are called embedded resources? I have just explained, because their information is there in the main request that is going, and the response which is coming in that, right? Whole information they are embedded in that. Only while processing, they gets loaded separately, and we see them, and then we see the whole page. Now, now fine. Now, next is just for an example, let us understand what a CSS file or what a JS file does, just for understanding purpose. So see, CSS file means cascading style sheet. Full form is cascading style sheet. It beautifies the web page. Okay, so a web page, its theme, its look and feel, how it should be there. How, like suppose this is black, this is gray. Okay, this is pale white, right? So this layout. So this all thing is designed in CSS. Okay, color and all the system layout theme. You can think like a theme also. Okay. So CSS file are responsible that thing of a page. Mhm. Then we have JavaScript. What JavaScript does, I'll tell you later. before that, you will see images. Images will have all this extension, then fonts and icons or favicons, right? So on every page, obviously, image has to be there. Obviously, it will be there, right? So all those images, uh, uh, they have their name, and that's why you can see like image files will be there, images will be there, and apart from that, so many images will be there. See here all the JPEG, 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 so many, because this so many images are there, all are got low. So you can see so many of them. Even GIF which there, that is also image, right? So image has to be there, and then there is a fonts. Okay, fonts will be there and icons will be there. So they also come in this image category only. Fonts, fonts will be there with extension FF, right? Or icons will be there with extension ICO, IC. So fonts means like fonts. Right? We will be knowing like this is a bigger font, this is a smaller font. Some font will be like, hope you all have used Microsoft Word, right? The font is there, correct? Times Roman, Arial, all this thing. Then bold, italic, then size. So fonts, right? Font. Then same way icons will be there, a small icon on that page, and all images. Okay. So they. So hope you got idea about this. Now a JavaScript file. What JavaScript file does? So JavaScript file, JS file dot it does the logical functionality on a web page on user side. Okay. Now what is the meaning of this logical functionality? So there can be so many logical functionality done on user side depending on the how developer they have designed. So again, we do not have to worry about that. I'm just saying. So do not worry. You have to just understand the concept. So one example is this what is logical uh, what is logical functionality, okay, or what JavaScript file does. So suppose, okay, so you can see we have Flipkart, right? Same in Flipkart also you can see main page here, main request type is type main request type is HTML, right? And when you click on that, you can see one thing here, and then response which will be in code format. This is the code, and then it got render and see all the things. Right now, let us ignore this. I'll go to login. When I click on login, this came, right? This pop-up came. Now what I'll do, it is asking me to enter a mobile number. Okay. So generally, mobile number is of 10 digit. I'll give a wrong mobile number, like of 9 digit. I'll give 689. So it's a 9 digit mobile number, and see, I'm not doing anything. I'll just here some request is coming automatically. Even so, we do not have to worry about this. Okay, this kind of request. Even you do not do anything, you'll see some request being made here. Suppose I'm sitting ideal, I'm not doing anything on this website. Okay. Still you see something will be loaded, some request, they are repetitive. You see their name, right? They are repetitive. So what happens? I'll just tell, we do not have to worry about this first thing, right? Second thing, just an overview. See, these all are live website. Okay, live means a real website. So what happens on this website? There are some background calls running, background requests running to check the user status, to check the user cookies, and many things. So that's why even if you see, I'm just sitting ideal, I'm not doing, and those calls are repeatedly, automatically they are getting generated. Right? So no need to worry about. What we have to worry about is, we have to worry about that whenever you are doing a user action, at which is technically a transaction. At that time, you must see the request going and the response coming. Okay, so we have to worry about that request related to that user action. That request will have a response in it in code format. Okay. And type of that request will be generally HTML, HTTP, right? And sometime this user action or one transaction can have one request, or sometime they can have for multiple requests also. Like for an example here, we clicked on clicked on buy now, right? So two requests got generated. I'll explain also how they are two requests. I'll go back and explain, but that is not important. Important thing is I was going to show you what JavaScript file does. So see, currently I'm going to click on request OTP. When I clicked on here, do you see here nothing happened, right? But here this red message came. It's saying that please enter valid email ID and mobile number. So from where it comes? Nothing on request server, nothing went. Do you see when I click on this? And nothing came. So this message is not coming from server side. Server is not sending this message because no activity is done here, right? Related to the user action that I did. So this message then from where it came? So this came from JavaScript file, JS file, which is there for this page. In that page only that logical code was written that uh, before when the user is clicking on this button, so obviously a request will go. But before that request is going, just check that whether the email ID is valid or not, or mobile number is valid or not. If it is valid, then only you send the request. If it is invalid, send him the red message. So this is the logical activity. Correct. Now remember, in performance testing, everything is not a part of performance testing. Suppose I entered a wrong number here and I click on request OTP. Here nothing happened, right? No request went, no response came. So this user action, you cannot call it as a part of performance testing. Why? Because there is no load. Load means what? The request that is going on the server, that is load, right? That is putting load. We know, right? What is load? Even load is a common word, right? Everywhere you are putting more load on something, right? So no request went. Since no request means no load to the server, right? So this cannot be part of. We cannot say that it's a part of. It's a user action, but it was not. It cannot be treated as part of a performance testing scenario because here nothing happened. And so coming to that, so I was explaining what a JavaScript file does on a web page, right? So there can be like so many JavaScript file on that page, and they will be doing some logical activity, logical functionality on user end, for an example, like how I have shown. Now, the same thing I'll do. What I'll just rectify this. So now it's 10 digit, and now I'll click on request OTP. So you'll see one proper request will go. Now there this time no red message. This message came. You are not registered. Please sign. And you can see and we see here the proper message, proper request going, right? We can see here method also. This is the post request. So if you click here, you will get the idea. This was the request. Okay. With that request, that phone number went, which I entered, right? And something from server, some response came. That that response was displayed here. You see that you are not registered or something registered now. And then one more request was there related to that. I think. Or three requests were there. One is this one, another one is this, I believe, and yeah. This is also related to that. And then this one was the last. Third. No, there is nothing here. No response. So we will not consider. So two requests were there. One is here. And one is here. Right. And these are requests. Okay. So whenever you'll send anything, right, with a request, that is part of payload. So suppose we send this number and a request generated, correct? So and we see that over here it is getting carried, right? In request tab you will see request tab, see that is good. And some response came from server, so that is separate thing. But whenever with a request on a page you send something from your end, it can be phone number, it can be anything, any data, okay, even it can be image, it can be a document file, right? uh, it can be a number, email id, whatever we send it from our end, that is also called as user input, right? So that is also called as form data, form, because sometimes maybe there is a form and you are filling the data, so user input only, category user input only, form data, right? Or uploading files you are uploading, photo, resume, whatever. So all these things which we are sending with the request, that you can see in request tab, right? And that is considered as payload. Always there is technical term for that, payload. It will not be there on every page because it will only be there when we are sending something from our side, right? So this payload will not be there. Suppose if I'm just accessing this Flipkart I'm doing. So at that time, see, it's nothing, right? In request tab, it will blank. In request, only that URL, will be going, but request tab, you'll not get anything. Why? Because we just access that, right? We just click that. We didn't send anything from our end. Fine. So hope you got the idea about what JS file does, right? JS file and some other concept also we have seen, like whenever we do a click, the compulsory thing as a performance tester should be like some activity has to be done, right? Related activity. Like I have just shown you that when we click given a wrong number, there were nothing happened. So that part we cannot take as a scenario. But when I rectified that number and click on that button, right, then we have seen a proper request being made, right? So we'll debug on that more, right, going forward. So coming here, right? So what we have learned till now is request and response. Okay, and request is always in form of HTTP, HTML request, which can also be called as URL, but technically we'll be calling as a request only. Right? For layman's language, you can think it's a URL, but technically it's a request that goes to the server whenever there is a user action or transaction, and we receive the response. And response is always in text format or code format, right? That code or text which comes to the browser. So response data is response body is response data written by the server, text or code. The data is rendered or processed by our browser, which make the web page look beautiful. While rendering, embedded resources concepts are there, right? Loading them and then making a whole page look like how it seems to be or it has to be, right? In embedded resources, there are three types of embedded: a CSS file, JavaScript file, and images, fonts, and videos are there. And there is a proper extension for each of them, right? So just remember their extension. It will make the life easy. Correct, this extension. What they do, even I've explained them, right? And why they are called embedded resources. Uh, uh, I have explained, right? And they are also called as non-HTML resources. Every request generally on a web page will have this. Okay? Now, next thing is every request and every response is divided into two parts: request body, request header, response body, response header. Okay. So when we click here, any request, right? So this is Flipkart. We click here. When we click here, there is a header tab, right? Header tab. In header tab, you can see the URL, which will be part of request body. Okay, request body. And then downside, if you scroll, there will be response header and you scroll down, there will be request header. Okay. So remember always, whenever there is a request, okay, request. When request comes, whenever there is a user action or there is a transaction, there will be one request which will be going to the server, and then there will be response coming from the server. That response will be in code format or text format. Okay, text. Now this request will be divided into two parts: request body and request header. Okay, header. Same, the response will be divided into part: response body and response header. Response header. Okay. Now in fine. So first let us talk about the request. So in request body, what are the part of request body? So remember, the URL is part of request, and apart from that, whatever the inputs, suppose we are sending some, or you are sending some file, photo, all those things. So the URL is the part of the request body. Apart from that, with this URL, suppose we are sending the body data, which is called as user inputs, or file upload, photo, origin, which are called as payload. They are also part of request body. Okay, they are also part of. And in header, there will be a further component called header. So you just scroll downside only, you will get header, request header. Right. In that some stuffs are there. So we will talk about this header tomorrow. For now, just understand headers will be request header. Same way, the response which is coming, that is also divided into two parts. One is response body and response header. In response body, what will be there? The code that is coming. This is called as response body. This is a part of response body, and it has a header also. So here, header tab, you can see response header. Okay. These all are part of response header. So what we understand, that this URL is part of request body, plus there is a part downside called request header. Request header. They both make a request and goes to the server. Now from server side, response comes. In response, the body will be there, which will be in code format. The code, which is called as body, and then there will be response header, which will be here, plus response header. So this whole makes response, right? And this makes response. Okay. Now, so ending today's session with one last concept. So we understood what is URL. Obviously, we got an idea that okay, what is there in request body? The URL will be there, and form data will be there. The payload, right? Sometime on some page we do sign in or whatever we send, username, password. So that are part of form data that will come in payload, right? So payload is also part of a request body, and URL is always there. So these are the part of request body, and that is understandable. Means we can understand. Okay, fine. In response body also, we can understand. Okay, this code is part of response body. This is understandable. We got it. It is easy thing to understand. Okay, great. But what is this then? Why these are there? This response header, and this looks something, yeah, something mysterious, right? Mysterious. What is this? Okay, this is not understandable as well. What is this? Right? This is also not understandable as well. So what is this and why this is? So I'll explain this tomorrow. It's not only with every request this concept is there, not only the first request. Suppose again, for an example, and so let me clear. So suppose on this we will click, right, this CPU that is. So I'm clicking on that CPU. So again, when I click, you see in the URL, and that URL, we just have to scroll up and can see that URL, the same. We got it. So this URL will be part of request body, right? Request body, got it. We have response, which is in code form, and that will be rendered, and this all download and other thing will happen. That is separate thing. But again, this request, you see header tab. If you just scroll down, this request again has also request header, right? And same, that response has this response header. So request header goes from browser side to the server. Remember, this stuff goes from browser side to the server, and this stuff, the response header, has came from server side with the with that response body. We see them in header tab only, but do not get confused. Okay, response header is coming with this all data that you see is coming with response body from the server side to the browser, and this all data here they went from browser to the server with that above URL with the request body, okay, which is here. This request, right? So every user action will be generating. So what we learned all this, that there is a user action. Technically, it is called as a transaction. Whenever a user does a transaction, which is kind of click, everything is click only at the end of the day, and it generates a URL, right, in the form of HTTP HTML URL. This URL, technically they are called HTTP HTML request. HTTP HTML request. In layman's language, you can say URL, but HTTP HTML request. So every transaction will generate a HTTP HTML request. This request goes to the server, response comes in code format, and that code is rendered and processed, and embedded resources got downloaded. In embedded resources, there are three types of things are there. What those three type thing stuff do, I've explained that, right? Now, apart from that, this request is divided into two part: request body and request header, right? And this response which is coming, that is also divided into part response body and response header, correct? Response header. And every such request, every user action or every transaction will be generating a request, and every such request will have all this stuff that we have discussed. Now, one thing, sometime a request, sometime a user action can have one request. Okay, sometime one user action or one transaction can have two or more requests also, like here. It can happen. Now, I'm living at this point that we understood what is body, we understood what is request body, we understood what is response body. But what is response header, right? They are mysterious. Correct? What are they? Right? What are they? So I'll explain about them tomorrow. We'll talk about why they are there, and with every request has the same concept. So every request will be having request header, request body, request header, response header, body, response headers, right? So why they are mysterious, why they are there? There are some component in them also, which at least we should understand a little bit. We'll all understand. Fine. That is. So I think it got very much delayed. So we'll continue from here tomorrow.